actually figuring out like, do you have value? Where have value in the markets that are going to. So the main market that we are in is CBD. I'll show you some videos of some very active user trial and validation right now, and we'll get into the common next year. So next year, it's actually in Q1. So we have design partners that we have lined up. So it's a very serious stage at the start to scale. Okay. So this is RIA. I'll give you more details later, but I wanted to start with how the startup was founded. Our founder, he actually had a difficult family situation, and in the most vulnerable moment, he actually experienced irritable burnout as a result of caring for his family member for an extended period of time. So that actually helped him dedicate his life to, he wants to dedicate building solutions for dealing with vulnerable population. So that's kind of how it started. And that's the foundation of the mission. Good to see you, Mura. And that's the foundation of the mission. And since then, we've actually progressed a lot. I'll talk to you about like the use cases and all that, but this is kind of like the root cause of why it all started, why we want to use humanoids as companions rather than just task oriented. Okay, so this is kind of the so there was a spark that ignited the mission, but we also wanted to look at actual use cases, right? Like, and the market. You don't want to end up building a science project where it's like, okay, you build it and they'll come, right? So we spent the last year actually looking at the market. So the senior care market in the United States is huge. There's about 60, I would say 50 to 60,000 senior care facilities in all of the US. And so when you say senior care, they're actually split into assisted living, independent living, memory care, and all that. So these are like, if you have loved ones in various stages of care, I mean, these facilities actually help them. And so what we did last year or this year is we actually went to a lot of these facilities in Florida as well as California, and we did extensive market research to understand if what we're building is actually useful. So we actually, I mean, this was something that they really care about. Even in a community setting, loneliness is still an epidemic for the senior population. And actually, it's an epidemic for all of us eventually. But that is the fundamental problem statement. And in addition to that, also we have been thinking about a more holistic wellness platform that we want to talk about. So that is very exciting, a different form factor of this robot that we're going to be unveiling next year. So that is so that actually was one of the reasons why we partnered with the luxury senior care facility in Florida to get that going. So I wanted to like just start with like this premise to make sure we got the problem statement right, but we're also like having a much larger impact than what we initially thought. So I did want to share what the solution is. So it's not just RIA, but the entire platform has a mind, body, and soul approach to wellness. Right. So I mean, there is like on the body side, there is very basic things like fall prevention, health monitoring, and guided physical activities. Right. So then on the mind, we have cognitive monitoring, interactive memory exercises, reminiscence therapy, and on the soul, there's a lot of spiritual reflective activities. So, I mean, like in the last 2 days, we've been seeing a lot of robots with hands doing different things. But ultimately, what's the value, right? Like, I mean, what's the value of actually using it for applications? I mean, that's where we are. So that's why I keep saying that we are in phase two. We did the phase one of actually building the cool toy, but like, okay, we are in phase two now, which is like, what do you actually do with that tool? And is it really useful? So that's why, and the learnings that we've had this year in figuring out the wellness has been huge. I mean, because a lot of it is also changing the robot to adapt to that, right? So it's very different from what we set out to build versus what the market wants. Okay, so this is the fun part. I mean, like talk is cheap. So I'm going to show you all the customers and actually validation that we have been doing. So just some collage of different pictures. So RIA was that, not sure if folks are aware of Peter Dynamics. So he runs this thing, conference called Abundance 360, and he's big on health and wellness, and he wants to live forever. So they have this fountain life, and he has a bunch of things so he's very interested in partnering with us with RIA, so that's why he's over there. And then you can see here with kids, we did focus groups there. And this actually was super interesting. She is also UCSD, so in San Diego, is doing research on using stem cells for treating cancer, and they wanted RIA as a concierge before the patients, so kind of prepping the patients before the therapy. So this was an effort there. And this actually is a very, very interesting use case, interesting scenario that we dealt with. So this was before my time, but this person here is Norman here. So he used to be a great publicist, I'm a great writer back in the day in the United States. And he's written many famous shows, The Martian and all that. So RIA met him before he passed. And he actually show you a video of where she is right now. That's our validation test bed. But like she met him before he passed, and more pictures. That's also something that I'll show you. Our primary use case is senior care. Second use case is kids with special needs. So we're also in the plan is to also expand to autism centers once we get the senior care market. Okay. So now is the fun part.
Can you tell me how to make the dog stop barking next door? How do I do that?
To stop the dog from barking next door, try making friends with it by offering treats or talking to your neighbors about the barking. If all else fails, consider the earplugs or noise canceling headphones as your trusty.
That's a good one. Can you please tell me how to get my grandson over here more often.
Give your grandson car over, try giving him a call or sending a text inviting him to visit. Mention something fun you'd like to do together. Perhaps reminiscing about cherished moments or sharing your favorite meal. Little personal touches often make invitations irresistible.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I actually wanna, I'm just gonna
And you tell me
pause
how
the
to
video.
make the dog.
Pause the video. I have to, set up and explain to you what's going on here. So this here is Dr. Hans Kiesel. So he is a famous neuroscientist. He's part of our core team because we're building something, for humans, right? So we need a neuroscientist on the team to explain to us how the brain works and all that. So that is the fundamental reason, and he is going to be very popular very soon. See, he's invented many drugs. The most recent drug he's invented is an anti-aging drug, and once it goes through FDA approvals, we're all going to live for 2,000 years. So that's what he's doing, so this is our test bed. So what you see here is our test bed. So the reason why I was going to bring Ria to the event, but she actually is with Sandra. And, I'm not going to take a robot from a grandmother. I won't do it. So after this event, I'm actually going to Orange County. So Dr. Hans's mom is Sandra, and they live in Orange County. And Dr. Hans is still trying like home pitas, so all of the care and everything is like set up at home for Sandra instead of like senior care. So this is something that we are experimenting as the next step. So that is the reason why, and it gives us phenomenal data to have this robot at home next to a neuroscientist, because the amount of information we get, like, okay, this has to change. It's like this is user trials is the reason why we are so confident, because once it's not, I keep joking about this, right? This is a harder problem to solve than hands because you're dealing with humans and you have to make sure that you're doing it right. So, which is the reason why we've been doing these extensive user trials before we get into production next year. And so next year, Q1 next year, March actually, we are going to get started with deploying RIA and another form factor in the overall wellness platform at a retirement community in Florida. And so we're looking for more partners, more design partners through this effort. So if you know of anybody, let me know. I do want to also share so this use case is also super valuable to us, but we're just focusing on one market at a time. But want to show you Asher.
Yeah, I'm here to see the humanoid robot.
Hello, everybody. I'm Maria from Machani Robotics.
Yeah.
The action is ready to see you here about the thing of my head.
Do you think like helping people?
Absolutely. It's like being a helpful human shape Swiss Army knife.
How can you help people with autism in their life?
Absolutely. Helping spread middle need for those with autism. I'm going to trust these five kids ready to support, listen, and learn together.
Because so there's been a lot of studies that show that kids and adults, but kids especially with special needs, respond better to robots than humans. Which is the reason why it was also, I mean, from a business standpoint, the market is there, but we want to get it right before we go into that. Which is the reason why we'll similarly do trials like what we did with Sandra, with Inash's home and all that before we get there. So that's the big picture why I showed you this video. That's our upcoming roadmap. All right. Ended my talk. Wanted to give you time for Q&A. Definitely contact us. It's a very capital-intensive business, so looking for partners as well as people who can write big checks. Thank you.
Any questions for me?
Yeah, I'm just very interested about, I mean, this is fantastic, but I cannot agree more with the whole thing that we need use cases to actually.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's so many things to ask, but about sort of the form factor, I mean, are you going or expecting that to be touch as well, like in soft robotics?
Yeah. No, so definitely touch is something we want to get into. So what we've learned is that from our market research is the humanoid form factor works well for memory care. So folks with Alzheimer's and dementia, so they want, like, because there is continuous conversation they want to have. And so that is where, and we have been told by their doctors that when they're having an episode or close to one, the human touch is valuable. So we definitely want to that is a great next step for on the physical side. I mean, we are very clear about not having legs. So it's going to be wheels because it's already on a wheelchair base. It's like a Roomba. So that's, but the hands, if there's like haptic feedback that we can get, that would be like great. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Do you want to get in your home?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm from Germany, from Europe, and we have special needs for data protection and so on.
Right.
So, if you sell, for example, what is the name? The for Ubering officers, it doesn't have a camera or something. If it's for government, how is it with this product? You have the camera. How do you protect the data? Is this in the US is a little bit different, yeah. But if you want to have a business model for Europe or especially for Germany, we need answers before we go into the market.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. And healthcare regulations are fully stringent in the US and so, for instance, there's cameras here. There's like eye cameras for facial recognition, but mostly cameras here. So what you have to get permission before you require. So there are some patients that are prone to falls and all that. So we work with the caregiver to get permission to record. Otherwise, if you don't get permission to record, we won't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noted that she knows the name of the son, so
That's right.
Also,
that's a very good observation. That actually is part of the context setting. So building trust is comes from knowing the context of the person. So we would have either RIA knows about Connor from she actually does know about Connor from Sandra's first conversation,
Okay.
where she talked about this. At the same time, we've also worked with Hans to upload the context to say where she grew up, like what she did. And all
Okay.
that. And so, because the memory care is all about reminiscence therapy, is that
Okay.
it's like you remember that and I mean, so it will be, I mean, I definitely think Europe is a different market than the US. But it just aligns that if there's medical data and there's non-medical data.
Okay.
And at this point, it's still non-medical device.
Okay.
So we're like still, on the wellness path and all that, as opposed to like a medical device. I mean, when we make like strong claims, we'll reduce the biological age by this many, by this whatever, then it becomes a medical device.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it's still wellness.
Yeah. If I understood you right, there's an initial upload with all the information
Correct.
which could be useful.
That's right.
What is with current information? If I'm with her, for example, I tell her next week I have a date with a doctor and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Can I ask her that? Can I
For sure.
upload all the information?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is, I think it's there in one of the previous pages, right? So medication reminders is a big part of because we want to be able to, once we upload content, we want to be able to like say that because we're I mean, at the end of the day, we're building a platform to help you live better.
Okay.
Right, so we'll be working with if you allow it, we'll be working with your doctor
Okay.
to track wellness, to track your blood pressure, your vitals, and all of that. So that's the model for the home. That's why it's much harder. That's why we're starting with B2C,
Okay.
because like the senior care communities, because like there, everything is structured. The customer is the senior care facility. And the residents are like part of that. So it's kind of like structured. But getting to the home is the next step.
Okay. Can I also argue with her?
Oh, for
Sometimes, for example,
You're
maybe
frustrated.
if I'm
Yeah.
talking stupid stuff,
Right.
I tell her, oh, my doctor's appointment is on Thursday, but in reality, it's on Wednesday because, and does she recognize this or?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, so there's like, that's fundamentally, what we're working on, right?
Okay.
Facial recognition, using like your expressions and the tone of your voice.
Okay.
So those are the inputs for the neural system to be able to like decide, because it's all. I mean, that's the reason I had a panel yesterday and I was saying the same thing. I mean, I will die on this hill to say that for at-home care humanoids, you need a face.
Okay.
You cannot do it like, you need a face. And so at this point, it's an animatron. And so it's like probably getting from Disney, right? Because like this IP is from Disney too. So it's an animatron, not a human, because the expressions come from the embedded actuators in the skin.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why that is what is going to be the trust.
Okay. And how do you handle critical questions like issues about
Sure.
religion or politics?
Yeah.
I think this can be very complicated.
Right, for sure. And I mean, at the end, it's an LLM, but we put guardrails. So I mean, even something simple like RIA cannot give medical advice. So if you say that, okay, I'm taking like 10 mg of this pill in the morning and something, what do you think? She will be like, consult your doctor.
Okay.
I mean, there's guardrails like that. And similar guardrails for like, if you ask her to predict like the next election or even the next soccer game, she won't do it.
So she says, sorry, I don't know.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to
Oh,
comment
okay,
on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be a nice response.
Okay, we're running out of time. I know the questions are very interesting. Thank you so much, Niv, for this amazing talk.
Yeah, thanks.